Sorting materials into groups. Objects around us, we observed that our clothes and food have so much variety in them. Not only in food and clothes, there is such a vast variety of many objects everywhere. We see many objects around us like a cycle, a chair, books, a pole coat, cooking utensils, clothes, water, toys, stones, all these objects have different colors, shapes, and uses. Find the objects that are round in shape in this list. In this list, we may include a glass, marble, a rubber ball, and a football. If we include the objects which are nearly round, then our list could also include the objects like oranges, apples, and pitcher. Ghara. Assume we are thinking about the objects that are edible. We could include all the atoms that we have listed in the first three tables of chapter 1. Some listed atoms might be round shaped as we can put them in this group. Now if we wish to make a group of objects that are made of plastics, then we can include those buckets, pipes, lunch boxes, water containers, and many such objects in this group. So we can group the objects may by many ways. In the above examples, we have grouped different objects on the basis of their shape and the materials they are made from. All objects that we find around us are made of one or more materials. These materials may be plastics, metal, glass, cotton, wood, paper, mud, or soil. Can you write some examples of materials? Activity 1. Let us collect as many objects as possible. Many objects as possible from our surroundings. Each of us can collect some objects from home, and we can also collect some objects from the soil, from the school. What will we have in our collection? Pencil, rubber, notebook, duster, chalk, a hammer, bat, nail, scope of a wheel, soap. List of objects that we cannot bring to the classroom. Walls, truck, trees, tractor, road. Keep all objects from this list of collection that are made from paper or wood, so that we can divide all objects into two groups. First group contains the objects that are made from paper or wood, and the second group contains the objects that are not made of these materials. In similar manner, we could separate the objects that are used for preparing food. Now make now make a list of all objects collected in table 1. Try to wonder the materials that each object is made of. It would be fun for us to make a large table collecting information of many objects. It may seem difficult to know the materials out of which some of these objects are made. Discuss to identify the materials which your teacher and parents. Activity 2. Now we will discuss about some common materials. Some common materials are given in table 2. You can also add more materials in column 1. Now think of objects that are made mainly of these materials and write them in column 2. Can you write the name of some materials which are used for making more than one kind of an object? What do you find from both these tables? First, we grouped objects in different ways. We also found that objects around us are made up of different materials. An object could be made up of a single material, and an object could also be made up of many materials. And then again, one material may be used for making many different objects. How can we decide which material should should be used for making any given object. If any given object, it appears that we need to get more information about different materials. Properties of materials. Have you ever thought why a tumbler is not made with a piece of cloth? Always keep in mind that we generally use a tumbler to keep a liquid, so we cannot make a tumbler by cloth. What we need for a tumbler is plastics, metal, glass, or other such materials that will keep water. In the same way, we cannot use paper-like materials for cooking measures. We observe we observe that first we choose a material to make an object, depending on its properties, and then determine for which purpose the object is to be used. So do you know what are the properties of materials that would be important for their uses? Some properties of materials are discussed here. Appearance. Usually materials seem different from each other. What seems very different from iron? Iron looks different from aluminum or paper, aluminum of copper. On the other hand, there may be some similarities between iron, aluminum, and copper that are not in wood. Activity 3. Collect some small pieces. Activity 3. Collect some small pieces of different materials: wood, cardboard, paper, chalk, copper, wire, aluminum, seed. Do any of these sign? Look sign. Keep away the silly. Materials into a group. Now observe carefully when the teacher cuts each material into the two pieces and look at the freshly cut surface. What do you find? Does the freshly cut surface of some of these materials look shiny? Keep these objects also in the group. Of shiny materials, do you find such a sign or luster in the other materials? Can cut more materials as possible without luster. You can rub the surface of materials which is sand paper instead of cutting to look if it has luster or not. Materials that have luster are usually called metals. Aluminum, iron, copper, and gold are some examples of metals. Some metals often lose their moisture on them, so we can find luster only on their freshly cut surface. When you go to an ironsmith or a workshop, then see the freshly cut surface of metal rods to see if they have luster or not. Hardness. When we press some different materials with our hands, then we find that some of them are hard to compress, while others not. Take a metal key and scratch it with the surface of a piece of aluminum, wood, chalk, a piece of stone, a nail, candle, any other material or object. You can compress some materials while some cannot be compressed so easily. Those materials which can be compressed or scratched easily are called soft, but those materials which are difficult to compress are called hard. For instance, a sponge or cotton is soft, while iron is hard. According to appearance, materials can have different properties like hardness, luster, be rough, or smooth. Can you tell the other properties that describe the appearance of a material? Soluble or insoluble? Soluble or insoluble. Activity 4. Take samples of some liquid, some solids, substances like salt, sugar, sand, chalk, powder, and sawdust. Take five beakers. Fill all the beakers about two-thirds with water. Add a spoonful of sugar to the first beaker, salt to the second, and in this way add a small amounts of the other given substances into the other beakers. Stir gently the contents of each beaker with a spoon. Wait for some minutes. Observe carefully what happens to the substances added to water. Write your observations as shown in table 3. Table 3. You will observe that some substances have completely dissolved in water. We can say that these substances are soluble in water. On the other hand, some substances do not soluble in water. Even after we stir for a long time, these substances are called insoluble water. Water plays a significant role in the functioning in the function of our body because it can disappear or dissolve a large number of substances within it. Do liquids also disappear with water? Activity 5. Activity 5. Take samples of lemon juice, vinegar, coconut oil, or mustard oil. Mustard oil, Christian, or any other liquid. Any other liquid. Take a glass tumbler, now fill it up to half with water. Pour a few spoonfuls of one liquid to water and stir it properly. Stand. Await for a few minutes. Observe carefully. Observe carefully whether the liquid mixes with water. Repeat the same process with other liquids that are available to you. Note down your observations as shown in table 4. Some liquids observe mix well with water while some others do not. We observe that some liquids get completely dissolved with water, but some other liquids do not dissolve with water and make a separate layer when put aside for some time. Mohan suggests we also check if the liquids that we used in activity 5 dissolve well with some other liquid than water. Seema wants to know whether whether gases also dissolve in water. Some gases some gases are soluble. Some gases are soluble in water while some gases are not. Usually water has small amounts of some gases are dissolved in it. For instance, oxygen, a gas dissolved in water, is very important for the life of plants and animals that survive in water. Objects may float or sink in water. While doing activity 4, we might have observed that the insoluble solids separate out from water. We may have also observed this with some liquids in activity 5. Some of these materials that did not dissolve in water floated to the surface of water. Others may have sunk to the bottom of the glass tumblers. Is it true? We observe many examples of objects that float in water or sink. Dried leaves fallen on the surface of a water pond. A small stone that you threw into this pond, some drops of honey that you left fall into a glass of water. What happens to all of these objects? Can you give three examples? Can you give three examples of objects that float or sink in water? What process will you use about testing these same materials to observe if they float or sink in other liquids like soil, like oil? Transparency. You have ever played the game of hide and seek? Remember some places where you would like to hide so that you are not seen by others. Why did you select those places? Would you have ever tried to hide himself behind a glass window, looking through opaque, transparent or translucent material? Of course not, because your friends can see through that and find you easily. Can you look through all the materials? Those substances of materials through which objects can be seen are known as transparent. Air, water, glass, and a few plastics are some examples of transparent materials. Usually, shopkeepers prepare to keep sweets, biscuits, and other stable things in transparent containers or glass of plastic so that customers can easily see these items. On the other hand, there are some materials through which objects cannot be seen. These materials are known as opaque. We cannot tell what is kept in a closed wooden box. A cardboard container or a metal container. Wood, metals, and cardboard are some examples of opaque materials. Now, can you tell all the materials and objects that they are either opaque or transparent? Activity 6. Transparent. Activity 6. Take a sheet of paper and see through it towards a lighted bulb. Note down your observations. Now spread 3-4 drops of some oil on the sheet of paper. Look again towards the lighted bulb through that paper of the paper on which the oil has been spread. Do you observe that the bulb is looking more clearly before than before, but can you see clearly through this oiled This oiled paper. This oiled paper is every object on the other side of the paper visible of course. Of course not. The materials through which objects can be seen but not clearly are called translucent. Can you tell some more examples of translucent materials? So we can divide materials into three groups as opaque, transparent, and translucent. Sima covers the glass of a torch with her palm at a dark place after that she switches on the torch and looks the other side of the palm. She is curious to know whether palm of her hand is opaque, translucent, or transparent. We have read that materials differ in their appearance and the way they dissolve in water or other liquids. They may sink or float on water, or may be transparent, translucent, or opaque. Materials can be divided in groups on the basis of similarities or differences in their properties. Why do we need to divide the materials in groups? We group materials for our convenience. Usually we keep things in such a manner that similar things are placed together. Such an arrangement helps us to find them easily. In the same way, a grocer keeps all kind of biscuits at one corner of each shop, all shops at another corner, while pulses and grains are stored at some other place. There is another useful reason of such grouping. Dividing materials in groups makes it easy to study their properties and also to observe any patterns in these properties.